Well, hello folks, and I hope you all survived Christmas and New Year's okay. Now, I've been taking her easy as last while, so that's why there hasn't been too many uploads. But I did find this one on the hard drive from back in 2016, and I thought it'd be worthwhile uploading it. It doesn't have a big head count in it, but the last ratting video went quite well, so I thought you might enjoy it. This was back when I was still using the likes of the NiteSite Viper, which was one of the first digital add-ons on the market at the time. And I had just got my BSA Super 10 back from John Bowkett, who had blueprinted it, and it was producing about 15 to 16 foot-pounds of energy, which is on my FAC, as anything in Northern Ireland over 1 joule has to be on a licence. Now, the farmer had spotted rats coming back and forth from a pile of silage bales across the dungle towards the dairy, so I set the little van I had at the time up in the yard about 20-25 yards away to see if I could get a few, as it was a lot more comfortable than standing out in the middle of the yard and less likelihood of a rat running up your leg at the same time. But, pushing that unpleasant thought out of my mind, I got the rifle set up by squaring in the NiteSite unit up with the crosshairs and setting the parallax to the distance I was intending to be shooting. I think at the time the pellets I was using were either the Air Arms Diabolos or the JSB Exacts, as both were highly recommended by John Bowkett. Once it got properly dark, it wasn't too long before I spotted my first customer appearing out from behind the silage bales. I gave the surrounding area a good scan, but couldn't see anything else, so decided to switch the unit off and give the area a bit of a rest, as the sound of the shot even spooked the cattle in the dairy. Thankfully though, it wasn't too long before a second rat appeared, and it was poking its way out from behind the silage bales the same as the first one. Earlier, before I got set up in the van, I actually set 1 or 2 shovelfuls of meal out as bait to help draw the rats out from the bales into a suitable area, and it seemed to be working. I gave it another wee while before scanning again, and sure enough spotted movement right away. This time though, it wasn't a rat. Yep, it was a kitty cat, one of the farm cats out in the prowl, and he seems to know where the rats come and go from as well. Hopefully though he'll not put the rats off from popping out so I can have a go at them. But this one seems more interested in eating the meal I'd set out rather than rats. Thankfully though, it finally got bored and moved off. Either that or it was going to find somewhere to sleep off a big belly full of meal. So I give the area a few minutes to settle before starting to scan again, hoping this time that I would find something other than a cat eating my bait. And sure enough, I spotted a big old scarred up rat making its way along the bottom of the dungle towards the dairy. Nuts, I missed. It just moved as I took the shot. But it made the mistake of turning round to see where it came from. Thank goodness for magazine-fed air rifles. I'd been sitting a good while by now, and even though I'd given the area a good scan or two, I hadn't seen anything, not even the cat. So I decided to put the head torch on and go for a wee walk around the dairy to see if I could spot anything there. And sure enough, after a wee bit of scanning, I spotted a rat in the feed ride. So, using the steel beam beside me to help steady myself, I took aim at the rat, which was facing me head on. The pellet hit with a real thwop, and even though that pellet had to go from one end of the rat to the other, it still managed to run round and disappear between the slats. I didn't see anything else along the feed ride, not surprising after the thud that pellet made, so decided to switch the unit off and stand there quietly in the dark to see if anything else would appear, hoping at the same time that one wouldn't run up my leg while I was standing there. Had it happened once, don't want it happening again. But after a few minutes, I gave the area another scan, and at first didn't really see much, except for the cattle peacefully feeding away on the silage set out for them. Then I noticed something in the silage that didn't look right. It was a rat, sitting with its back to me, so I didn't see the eye shine. It was a decent distance away, and getting further every moment, and I needed to get the shot away before it got back in onto the cattle again, so went for a heart and lung shot, which dropped it dead on the spot. I gave it a while longer, but nothing appeared, not even on the dongle again. So I decided to put the rifle away, get the litter pickers out and start tidying up after me. I think I'd only got these litter pickers at this time, and they've proved right and handy ever since. Though somebody stated in the comments to put a wee self-tapping screw in the tips, and that would help me grip the rats even better. I always like tidying up after myself. I know they're only rats, but farmers get enough grief at times about the state of their yards, and me leaving dead things about it isn't going to help things. I did have a look for the rat that I hit earlier and ran into the slats, but couldn't see it anywhere, though I can't imagine it getting too far with a .22 caliber hole travelling down through its middle, though they can be tough little blighters at times. Well folks, I hope you enjoyed that little blast from the past. I'm afraid it wasn't terribly long, and I do remember at the time being quite disappointed I only got 5, as I was expecting quite a good bag, because when the farmer was showing me where the rats were coming and going from, there was a big fat one sitting in a bale watching us. But until next time folks, take care and look after yourselves, hey.